right, coaches, as you guys start to fill in, let's go ahead and get this thing started. Just before I introduce our guests and kind of get into the details of this session, as many of you know, if you hop into any of these Zoom chats, there's been a decent amount of infiltration here from guys just kind of coming in trying to be funny and take over the chat. I feel like we have it locked down pretty good. If for any reason you see something pop up here on one of your video screens, you can hit the one panel. So where you see Coach Kelley, where you can actually see his face. If you the blue button, which is the one square, it'll just minimize to him, so you can't see anybody's other pandering. But we're going to keep it rolling. We're not going to let anybody kind of derail us from what we're trying to get done. I will cut off videos from those that aren't Zach, Kelley, and myself. So if the coaches, just go ahead and cut your videos off, so I don't have to worry about either having to remove you or cut your video off. All right. So anyways, thank you all for attending. Special thanks to Coach Kelley for taking the time to put this together. I had the opportunity to kind of meet and speak with Coach Kelley here over the last year. Very passionate young coach with a great future in front of him. Really excited about him. We are slotted for about a 40-minute session. So to make sure this thing goes smoothly, everybody is muted. And as the coach runs through his presentation, so if you have questions, please make sure to message me in the chat. It'll come directly to me. And at the end, I will cut off Coach with about 10 minutes left, and we'll go through a Q&A session. If you miss any part of this presentation, keep in mind that you can go to AFCA.com and visit our educational library to catch any of these virtual clinics we've done here over the last few days, the ones we're doing in the future, and also all of our old AFCA conventions. You can find all that content right there. So let me go ahead and pass the video on over here to Coach Kelley.
All right, hey guys, just excited to, speak through AFCA and, get this going. Like you said, I've done a couple of these, and it's just a great opportunity for us to get better. We got weird circumstances. So like I said, I'm gonna run y'all through a little bit of how I coach the running backs, the skills and drills that we do. I'm going to talk a little bit about how I teach and how I coach the inside zone versus the outside zone, and the similarities, and a little bit of, running back culture and stuff that we do in Cedar Hill that I think is, it goes a long way with the kids. So, all right, so here are the topics again. Quick rundown of my house call culture, my coaching points when I'm running inside zone or when we're running outside zone. I'm going to give you all my weekly schedule of my skills and drills that we do every week in Cedar Hill, America. And then again, going to talk a little bit about philosophy of how I coach the backs that I think is a little unique sometimes. And then, again, I'm going to show y'all a couple clips of, the kids executing what we practice. So, again, we're going to start out with house call culture, because no matter what we do, everything that we do revolves around our house call culture. Okay, this is our position groups. We've branded it. We have our set beliefs, and every one of my running backs can go in and tell you what it means to be part of a house call backfield. So again, we talk about we do everything. We're a complete back. If you don't block, you don't play. I can't even put you on the field. A lot of people say no block, no rock. You will be standing by me on the sideline if you're not willing to block for your teammate. That's just how it is. And it goes into, our family, forget about me, I love you. It talks about a little bit about selflessness, and then just having pride for what you're doing. In our culture now, there's a lot of people don't take pride in what they're doing. And, I really want to sell that to the boys so that way they understand that whenever they get going on to wherever they're going to in the future, maybe the next level, playing football, playing any type of sport, and then in their families, they're going to have pride in what they do. I'm big on that. I'm going to talk to them all the time about it. I'm sending them messages right now about, the pride that they got to take, that they don't have coaches watching over them. They have to take their workouts in their own hands, and they got to be doing that. So that's something that we're going to talk a lot about. Every time we touch the ball, we can score. That's a big thing. I guess I'm not an old school guy. I want the kids playing with a little bit of chip on their shoulder, a little bit of swagger. Okay, I want them to have a little bit of swag when they step on that field, like they're untouchable, like they're like nobody can tackle them. That's something I'm always yelling at practice. I'm even yelling it to our defensive kids. They cannot tackle our backs one-on-one ever. We are going to drive. We're going to punish. We're going to make them miss. Whatever we're doing, we can score the ball anytime we have it. Okay, we reward big plays without the football. That's a huge one for me. And it's not something that we do a bunch, like a big drawn-out celebration. It'll simply be if the backs have a good night blocking on Friday nights. That Saturday morning at 7 o'clock when I'm headed into school, I'm going to text them guys, hey, don't bring any food. Don't eat breakfast. I got y'all. Y'all blocked your butts off. And I don't do that for touchdowns. I don't do that for anything else. Receptions, I don't do it for anything else but besides blocking. Even selling out on their run fakes. If we're doing any type of play action, if we're running any type of zone where, quarterback can read and pull it, they better be going in that line of scrimmage like they have the ball because that is their job and that's the pride that they need to have no matter what. I don't like, if there's a run fake or the back just stopping and looking. That drives me crazy. Again, we talk about selflessness and we talk about pride. Okay, and then the big thing for me is, you got to spend time away from football with the kids. For me, that looks like I invite them over once or twice a year. My wife cooks some food for them. We have a 2K and a Madden tournament. Kids love it. I already had a kid yesterday tell me, hey, coach, we normally do something in the spring, get together, a little running back cookout, but how is coronavirus going to change it? They look forward to it. And it just goes a lot in a big piece of creating those relationships that you need for your running backs to play hard for you or for any position that you have that to play hard for you. And I'm always so big on those relationships and just working on those and cultivating those so that way you get the best product out on the football field. But more importantly, your kids are set up for post-football life because everybody that's watched this, everybody who's played football knows that you have a shelf life. Okay, and once that happens, that's going to happen no later than some of them will be 18, some will be 22. Some of them, maybe they get the blessed chance to go play in the NFL, and that average career is 3 years. So they've played football or been a part of around football for 27 years. The other 50, 60, or 70, they're going to have to be contributing members in the community. So, again, that's something that I'm so big on is the relationships and, making these men better men, making these young men better men. Okay, so talk a little bit about my inside zone and my outside zone teaching. Okay, I'm going to talk about my philosophy at the very end. Something that I'm really big on is, I don't want to overcoach the running back position. You could always tell who has the potential to be a great running back, a good running back at the high school level, the college level, just by seeing them run and make some cuts. You could even see it in 7-on-7 sometimes. If they got a little bit of move, if they got good instincts, you could see it. Okay, so my big thing is I don't want to overcoach them. So, I was watching this thing about running backs the other day, a virtual clinic, and they talked to them about looking at the safety structure, whether it's one high versus two high. They talk about reading the linebackers, seeing where that extra unblocked hitter is. You know what I'm saying? I don't do that. I don't feel like, for me personally, I think it does a little bit more harm than help. So I'm always going to be talking to them. I'm going to tell you, okay, guys, your eyes. Okay, you know how to line up pre-snap. What are you looking at? I give them two options. They have an odd or an even front. Okay, if we're running inside zone to the left, they're going to have to look at either that nose, if it's a three-man front, or that three technique or one technique. Okay, because I want them to paint a picture of what they're about to see. Because, again, we'll watch game film, we'll game plan with them. We'll say, okay, 90% of the time when we run to a one, they go into the A gap. They stay in a one. So now we know that this is probably going to hit a little bit wider. Or maybe the opposite. Maybe we see, okay, they got a one. We know that a lot of time when they line up in a one, they're going to a three. So now we know, okay, I got my pre-snap picture. What's going to happen when the movie starts playing? So, again, just helping them see that, and that's the only thing that they're going to look at. I tell them, look at that to the next level threat. And you'll see on some of the clips where, the picture before was different than the movie and post-snap and how they adjust, because we rep that a whole bunch through my drills that we do. Again, aiming point, that's essentially their aiming point. If it's a one, our aiming point is going to be a little bit outside of the guard. Okay, if it's a three, it might be a little bit tighter inside the guard. Okay. But again, they have the full understanding of when I take this ball, my pre-snap picture may look different than my post-snap picture. But typically, we game plan and have enough tendency to understand exactly where they're going to be. So we really work on that, and that's the only thing I really teach them. I say, okay, once you got your pre-snap read, ball snap, now you're going through next level threat and act on instinct. You know, we do a lot of moves. We practice some stuff. So, you know, go in your toolbox and use it at that point. Okay, again, footwork. You know, I'm not too hard on this with the running backs. You know, I like them being comfortable. I like them being real comfortable. So, you know, ideally in my world, I love all of them to J-step, you know, elbow eye high, you know, keep their shoulders square and go downhill. But that's not always the case for everybody. You know, I have a back that kind of like a little slow, quick shuffle and then get downhill. That's fine. I'm not going to be ego-driven where I'm going to let the player kind of have a little wiggle room in some of it. Now, again, if their shoulders are all turned or they're not square, you know, they're putting the other arm up, I'm going to get on them for that. But, you know, in terms of their footwork, as long as they're keeping square, they're seeing, their eyes are up, I'm not too hard on it. I want them to have good, comfortable footwork. So, again, when we do an NG drill, and, you know, we're talking a little bit about footwork on inside zone or outside zone versus power, you know, they know exactly what I'm looking for, but they get to have a little bit of ownership in how they take their steps, as long as they're not detrimental to the play or the scheme. The next thing I'll talk about is patience. Is it cloudy or is it clear? That's just the same idea that we're talking about. You know, if it's zone, I don't want to, you know, take the ball and run straight without having any idea what's going on. You know, I want to be patient. I'm going to take my step. I'm going to assess it. I'm going to see where everything's going. If it's a four-man front, I'm going to look at that three. What's that three do as I get this ball? I feel the ball. Quarterbacks do a good job putting the ball in the pocket. I'm going to look at that three. What's he doing? He flew B-gap. Now I get to go. I don't want to take the ball and just run. I'm going to see where it's cloudy or clear. If it's cloudy, it's probably not my area, but especially in zone. I'm going to look for that clear spot, whether it's banging the gap, banging in front of you, bending it back in a cutback, or bouncing it outside. That's the way I'm going to teach it to the kids. And to be honest, I'm not so big on the outside. Okay, I don't like building those habits, but that's how I'm going to teach it. And I'm going to let them know, hey, most of the time it's going to either be a bang or a bend. But worst case scenario, everybody gets their butt beat. Now we got to bounce. And then again, finish. This kind of goes along with the patience. You know, once our eyes, we take our steps, you know, we're patient. We're seeing how stuff's developing as I'm getting the football. Then I got to finish. And that's just not, you know, driving through somebody. It's not making a move. It's not scoring a touchdown. You know, it's sticking your foot in the ground and rolling. You know, we're going to stick our foot in the ground. Maybe we start out a little bit too wide on our inside zone path. And now I got to kind of redirect inside. I didn't keep my shoulders square. I took kind of a lazy step on my footwork. Well, shoot, you better still finish it. Don't get caught up on anything that's happened before. Go finish it. Stick your foot in the ground and roll. Finish the play the best that you can. And typically that's good for us, okay, because we got some talented running backs at Cedar Hill. So, again, once they make that decision, once they're patient, their eyes are right, their footwork's good, they're being patient, then they're going to stick to the ground and they're going to go. I don't care. If we get 3 yards, it's great. If we score a touchdown, it's great. But they're doing all these things. And, again, I'm not overcoaching the position. I'm just getting the important, vital things that they need to do to be successful. And, again, so like I said, the only difference that I changed from my inside zone teaching to my outside zone teaching is the aiming point and who we're looking at really, okay? When it's inside zone, I'm going to look at that 3 or that 1 if it's a 4-man front, or I'm going to look at that nose. If it's more of a 3-man front, again, I'm going to look at that nose. If it's a 3-man front against my outside zone, now I'm looking at that in-man on line of scrimmage, okay? And my aiming point is going to be at the tackle as opposed to the guard. The crack of the tackle as opposed to the guard on inside zone. And, again, you know, my footwork, outside zone is one where I let them be a little bit free with the shoulders as well. Whether we're coming out of pistol, same side, opposite side, I'm going to let them have a little free reign. And now they know, okay, outside zone, I can turn my shoulders a little bit more, okay? I can turn my shoulders a little bit more. Again, they still got to be patient. And when they make their decision, once they see whether it's cloudy or clear, they're going to put their foot in the ground and roll. They're just going to get to it. No dancing in the backfield. Dancing in the backfield kills 100% of run plays unless you got Barry Sanders. Dancing in the backfield will get you hit with a loss of yardage. And I stress that to the guys no matter what. As long as you're picking up something, we have a chance. It's when we run the football and we get stuck in bad positions between down and distance where it really hurts us. So, again, we're always going to do a good job, keep a conscious effort on always finishing the run, sticking your foot in the ground and getting what you could get. So, the weekly schedule, okay, talked about the inside zone versus outside zone. This is our weekly schedule. My goal is to create a complete running back. So right here, I have my pre-practice drills every day. We're going to do these every day, and I'm going to talk about those here in a minute. Mondays, the kids know, that my running backs know that it is a ball skill day. We're going to work our Auburn drill. We're going to work catching the football. We're going to work on securing the ball, covering it with two hands, and then finishing through a crease. We're going to cut and cover with two. And then, again, we're going to work some catch and see the tuck. And, again, we'll go through all those. Tuesday, we're going to work our cut blocking, our hand placement, because that's run blocking. We're going to work our 2, 4, and 6-point explosions. We're going to work on our linebacker mirror drill, which is our run block drill, and our pass block drill, but it's a little bit different in how I teach it and how I go through everything. And, again, we're going to teach our banana block for our power stuff. Again, at the bottom, I put just a couple notes here for, again, if you've never coached a running back position, this is my menu. This is my menu and how I separate it by day. There may be some times where, maybe we don't need to work Auburn drill as much. Maybe we don't need to work it as much, so we'll take that out and we'll spend more time catching the football. Maybe we're going to throw the ball a little bit more, so we're going to go through all of this. We're going to go through whatever we want, whatever we pick and choose, and see what we need to improve on that week. Pre-practice is going to stay the same unless there's a glaring need, because that kind of covers everything. But, again, this daily schedule, again, I'm going to take one of the ball skill drills out and I'll put in another ball skill drill from there. Maybe we haven't been doing all routes. Maybe we haven't been throwing all routes and catching them. Okay, maybe we need to do that more. Maybe we need to not worry about Auburn drills so much. No matter what we're doing is we're going to be talking about being consistent with ball security. Going to be consistent with ball security. And I don't necessarily like drills that only work ball security. I like incorporating everything. I'm always going to be talking about ball security. If a running back's coming through on our reaction drill, as they're coming through on our inside zone stuff, I'm going to be swiping at the ball. I may put somebody behind me at the second level as a linebacker that they, A, have to make a read off and cut or make a move, and then, B, they're going to be getting swiped at with that arm, trying to force a fumble. We'll talk about, again, when we finish our drills, we're going an extra 10 yards. Guess what? They better have that ball high and tight walking back, or they got push-ups, or they're going to go hit a goalpost real quick and do a quick lap. But, again, we're always consistent about ball security. We don't do any one specific drill to work on ball security. We do it within the natural flow of our drills, because I want that to show up in a game. You will never have in your lifetime as a running back, you're just standing the ball, just not even moving, and you're just holding it. Somebody's trying to drag it. I've seen this drill. Somebody's trying to pull it. That's not game-like. If it doesn't show up in a game, I don't want to do it. And then, again, I think the results speak for themselves when we talk about it. We played 12 football games this year. We had 15 weeks of football approximately, and we had 2 fumbles. We had 1 in a game, and then we had 1 in practice, I believe the 4th week. We had 2 fumbles, and Lord knows how many times that the running back carried the football. But, again, the results speak for themselves. If you're constantly emphasizing it, if you're always trying to preach it, no matter what drill you're doing, even when they're catching the ball and tucking the ball, I may have somebody standing out where they're going to catch the ball on their route and swiping at it. They know as soon as they're walking back and they have it high and tight that somebody could easily swipe at it. And, again, if it hits the ground, they're going to hit the ground. Okay, so, again, we really stress this no matter what we're doing. Okay, so our pre-practice drills, again, don't give me too much of a hard time. I did these diagrams, and this spring was supposed to be the spring that I got my individual on film. And that's not happening anymore. So again, I want to give you all these diagrams. So I know I'm a visual learner. Okay, so again, our first pre-practice drill. Our kids get so good at this that they don't need a coach out there most of the time. However, I'll be out there. You know, there will be a lot of days where I'll be kind of standing back, kind of want to see them coach each other up because, you know, they say once you can coach it, you've mastered it, or you're getting close. So I want the kids to have that ownership of it. So right here, you guys see on the speed and the pressure jump. Again, y'all should all see my screen. So on the speed and pressure jump right here, speed, pressure, jump. Those are the 3 cuts we work. Okay, we're going to work a speed cut where we're not losing ground. We're going to work a pressure step, you know, where it's kind of where you come down and you're kind of shimmying down. You got a 2-way go. And again, probably the most used cut in all of football right now is the jump cut. So what they're going to do is we're going to run our inside zone. I'm training their eyes right here. It's either going to be a coach or another player. They're going to stand where the 3 would be. So now they get the ball. They got to train their patience, their eyes, their footwork. Then that coach or that player is going to move one way. Then they got to go the opposite. And then as they go through there, they're working. Let's say we're saying, all right, hey, guys, the speed cut. Okay, so coach goes here. The back sees it, goes through B gap, speed cut, finish with a 10-yard burst. Like I said, I always want to finish in every drill. They're going to finish through that 10-yard burst. And again, you're going to see in the beginning, as they come back, that ball they might be holding it almost like this. Okay, they might be holding it like this, might just kind of have it low. Make sure you peek back and get on them. Let them know that ball security is 100% of the time job. I don't care what you're doing with it. Okay. And again, I set the cones up so that way we could go both ways. So now let's say, all right, hey guys, now we're doing pressure step or your shimmy juke. Okay, so you're coming, coach gives you a read, coach steps this way now into the B gap. So now you know you got to kind of bend it back towards that A. Now I'm going to pressure step right here, come out, finish with a 10-yard burst. The next one that we'll end up doing is pre-snapping. You know, Coach Price put this on his Twitter page the other day, the importance of running back switching hands or ball carriers switching balls, switching to the opposite hand depending on which way they're running. You know, I do it a whole bunch because I want them to be comfortable. I'm not going to drill them I'm not going to kill them if they don't, but it's something on film that we're going to talk about. Hey, man, you got tackled here. You should have scored. If you had the ball in the other hand, you keep your stiff arm as a weapon. So that's something that we do. So in this drill, you know, I got the cone set up really quick, really tight. So they got to go through, take small shuffle steps, work on their footwork. Every time that they switch or go to the next cone, they're switching hands. We're going to cover, and we're going to pull it to the other side. Okay, they're going to go all the way up through here. Around each cone, they're going to switch the ball 6-7 times. They're going to finish with a burst. Then they're going to come to this line. They're going to go through here, same thing. Tight feet, switch hands. Tight feet, switch arms. Tight feet, switch arms. And then we're going to finish with a 10-yard burst. Again, the great thing about these drills is the fact that you could get a lot of people going at one time. You know, you're being efficient with your time. Nobody's really standing around, but they're still getting really good work, and you can coach a lot of kids at once, especially if you have extra help on the side. Okay, again, and we got our second level and banana block drill. You know, I'll call out a play. I got mirrored. So this running back's on this side, this running back's on this side. Depending on the play, they're either going to have to go kick out an end, which I'll just have a bag or a body. They're going to have to lead up on the linebacker, or they're going to have to scoop that outside shoulder of the linebacker. I'm going to try and pick it up here, y'all, a little bit so that way we get through everything. Okay, so that's our pre-practice stuff. Monday, now that we're actually in a practice and we have our individual time, about 5 to 15 minutes, now we're going to work on all of our ball skill stuff. We're going to work on our running back routes. We're going to work our swing. We're going to work a wheel, an angle. You know, we're going to work a little stop where you replace the mic and a speed out and a seam. We're going to work all those. They're going to get all of them. Okay, so we're going to work on that. Same thing. You're still emphasizing ball protection, ball security, and, you know, seeing the tuck. Okay, Auburn drill, you know, happened in the national championship game, Auburn versus the University of Oregon. Michael Dyer basically kills all the University of Oregon's hope. When he's getting tackled, he ends up having the hand and the ball in this hand, plants, and keeps on going. He falls on top of the Oregon defender. So I show them that clip and I show them why we do this drill. Okay, we got to work on keeping our balance. It's not a fast drill. We're just working our technique. So switching hands, hand down, opposite leg up, then come up, switch hands, opposite hand down. So we're going to work that for about 10 yards, a slow pace. We'll probably do it once or twice down and back. And then we're trying to come on to the next, we're going on to the next drill. Okay, so see and tuck, I got two sets of, I got pairs right here, running back. All I want them doing, throwing, catching. I'm going to teach them how to catch again. And then having them see the tuck into their arm. I want them to see the tuck all the way in. Again, we'll do that. And, I'll kind of stop this share screen real quick because I'll show you a little bit more that I do. Okay, so, again, I'll have them do that. I'll have them just catch it here. Okay, I'll have them catch straight on. Okay, but we know that doesn't happen a lot in football. Okay, so the next thing we'll do is I'll have them turn, almost like they ran a swing, start moving their arms right here, catch, tuck. And I'm going to make sure that they got the ball on the right arm and the correct outside arm. I'm going to have them work different angles. I'm going to have them work low, high, all different types of arm angles and catching angles to make sure that they really get everything that they could see in a game all the way to the tuck. That's a big thing for me. I want to make sure that that's always emphasized in my drills. Okay, and then again, we got short yardage. I'm going to go back to present mode. Okay. Short yardage, it could be a short yardage. You could add even a sideline to it. Same idea. I'm going to be right here, or another kid will be right here. We're going to hand the ball off. Coach moves one way or the other. They're going to have to crease these pop-up bags. So, again, if I move here, the running back goes through B gap. I got to cover because we know short yardage, we're expecting contact really early. And then, again, we break that second level. We're going to crease it, and we're going to go score. Okay, so Tuesday is run blocking day. Okay, we do this mirror to impact drill. I only give them two options. This is a little bit different. So follow along, and if you got any questions, make sure you send them to Coach Price. So the back starts here, just normal. These are linemen representing as the cones. We got the linebacker set up. Okay, they could have arm shields. They could have, the lay-down bags that they hold up by the straps. But what I really want to emphasize is the running back coming up and all the way up until the moment that they're about to make impact. I want to make sure their hand placement and their body placement is correct. Okay, I want to make sure that their hands are inside, elbows are inside. I want to make sure that they're sitting down in a little bit of an athletic position. I want to make sure that they're ready to go before we actually make that contact. Because, again, that pre-contact phase can really help your block. It'll help your block because you're set up, you're ready, you're in an athletic position where, if it's quarterback run and you're blocking for them, or if we got a two-back set, you're coming out to block for them, you're setting them up how you should be. They're going to read off your butt. So if you really get a piece of them, you get that linebacker, you get them spitted away, and you got your butt where it's supposed to be, makes it easier, clean read for the other running back. So, we work that. We mirror to impact drill all the way up until the point where we're about to strike. And then, we'll set it down, and then we'll go all the way to the impact drill, the impact part of it. The cut block drill, we got two lay downs. Coaches will hold it. We'll go flat, we'll lead up, and we'll aim for the outside part of the bag just like we would if we're leading up on somebody cut blocking, and we're trying to get that outside leg. Okay, 2-4 6-point drill. That's where we line up on the old shields. Again, I'm an O-line guy at heart. We're either going to have shields or we're going to use the sled, and we're going to strike from a 2, 4, and a 6-point of points on the ground. We're going to work all that. We're going to shoot our hands, and we're going to explode our hips. And then we get to our fit drill where we're actually going to line up on one of our partners, and then elbows in a good athletic position. Then we're going to drive and try and finish. Okay, that's our run blocking day. Our mirror to impact drill, we do the same thing at a pass blocking on pass pro day. Okay, so I'll stand behind. I'll say, hey, 1 to 2. The one linebacker or two linebacker will come. Running back has to step up, sit in his chair, ready to go. The linebacker stops right as they're about to make impact, and I freeze it. I look at their position. I look at their hand placement, their elbow position, if their butt's high, all that stuff. And then we're going to talk about it. And then they get to go into the impact part of it. Okay, we do the same idea with the switch linebacker drill. I just had another linebacker in case they see him late and they got to come to the other side. We rep that, and I'll show y'all here in this drive-by drill. Late to cut drill, we do it with bags. You know, we're going to have our blitzers. They're going to come up, and we're really going to work on, you know, maybe they got freaking Ray Lewis in the middle. Okay, and we don't want to go head-to-head with them. Okay, we feel like we could get more with cutting them late. We don't want to cut too early because then they're going to have a chance to just hurdle us and put us on an ESPN top 10 list. So what we want to do is we want to set up late. The linebacker is going to be carrying the bag as he's running. We're going to set up, cut late, cut through that thigh. Don't fall back. Don't be one of those weeble wobbles that falls on your butt. You're going to finish forward. Again, we're going to do our mirror drill, and then we're going to do our drive-by drill where I'm setting them in position. It's kind of like a get-fit drill, but I'm putting them in a position where their shoulders have turned, they've gotten beat, they saw the linebacker late, whatever it is, and then we're going to drive by the quarterback. We're going to take that rusher, use his momentum, and drive past the quarterback all the way, so that way our quarterback's safe and we've done our job in pass pro. So, again, those are the 3 breakdowns of how I coach those days. You know, how I coach the running back position. Y'all, this is just stuff that I picked up from coaching it. You know, I don't say hit the gap or anything like that. I say, what did you see? What made you run that way? Why did you run that way? You know, because, you know, it creates ownership and helps the kids. You know, they'll talk through something, and if they got a somewhat good answer, if they, you know, we'll look at film and I'll be like, all right, I see why you did that. But now let's keep expanding on it. Let's keep working on it. All right, so what should you see, or how does this defense react compared to what we saw in practice? I'm never going to yell, just hit the gap, because, you know, running back, it's 75% instinctual. You know, they just got to be able back there and be able to play. So, again, I'm always talking to them, what do they see or why do they run that way?
Coach, you got about 5 minutes.
All right, yes, sir. I'm trying to go through it, man. I got a lot of stuff. Again, we talk about, you know, fumbles equal log roll at practice. If it's in practice, I'm going to get them on the ground and I'm a log roll or pencil roll. You know, it's just – I just want to coach in the moment. When they make that mistake, nobody tries to fumble. But I'm not going to sit there and beat them down when they already know they made a mistake. I'm going to say, hey, why did you make a mistake? They're going to say, oh, you know, it wasn't high. It wasn't high and tight. You know, I was kind of loose with it. I was running it down in my hip. Okay, it's all coaching in that moment. But they know that next practice, they're going to be log rolling for 50 yards on the first offense, 100 for the next, and we keep adding 50s. Okay, and trust me, it really lights a fire on them because they don't want to hurt the team, but they also don't want to log roll or pencil roll. You know, I'm not a big yeller. You know, I'll lose my mind. I'm a pretty passionate guy. There's some times where I just lose my mind unless it's selfishness or laziness. You know, we had a senior running back, you know, he thought every play was for him, and he's a great kid, and he felt like he could help the team best with the ball in his hands. But, you know, we had to explain to him, you know, the importance of trying to preserve every back, you know, and trying to do what we can. And, you know, where we always talked about our house call culture. And I lost my mind. Yeah, I lost my mind like I never have. You know, he was being selfish, and it made me so mad. But that's the only time I really lose my mind. And you know what? I had a good enough relationship with a kid where he came up to me and said, Coach, I know you're right. I was being selfish. So I'm sorry, Coach. You know, shook hands like men, and, you know, we moved on. But that's the only time I'm really losing my mind, whether it's selfishness or laziness. The next thing I'm always preaching is game reps. I don't talk about full speed. I don't talk about 100%. I talk about game reps. Everything you do, your blocks, your game cuts, your effort, you know, all that stuff needs to be game speed, game reps. Okay, it always has to be game reps. You know, if we're on watching film and they kind of take a half step, a kind of lazy step, or they take a lazy block or whatever it is, I'm going to say, was this a game speed rep? Was this a game rep? No, Coach. All right, then. Let's fix that today. Okay, again, these next two kind of go together. You know, we're always fine-tuning the running back position and don't overcoach it. You know, just trying to keep things where they don't think too much. And I made that mistake when I first started coaching running backs. You know, we played a game where they were missing holes. They were kind of slow. They were thinking too much. So that at halftime, I told them, yeah, just forget about that. Go run. Go run hard. Just do what you do. Trust your gut. You know, they were doing what they were coached to do, but now they're doing it a lot faster. They weren't thinking as much. And again, last thing you know is you got to come up with something new. So, you know, I talk about house call culture. And it's funny, you know, at the end of the year, we talked about the ball being the program and how important it is. So like I went out and got one of these high and tight footballs that if once you hold it, you got your split finger, and once it's tight, it makes a sound. It lets you know that you're holding the ball right. So, I'm always trying to come up with something new and doing that. So I'm getting stressed that that ball is a program for them. Let me show y'all some film real quick. And again, I'm not putting it in there, not because I can't, but not because I won't, but because I couldn't figure it out on Google Slides. So this is a big game here, Cedar Hill versus School Up East. We're running our inside zone. It's actually to the offensive right. So this is our read to start out with. So he's getting the pre-snap picture. Post-snap movie. Okay. Guard kind of got his butt kicked. But now we know it's probably going to be a bend back. We're actually trying to run some split zone here, but didn't quite work out. But, the back sees it. His pre-snap picture was not like the post-snap movie should have been. He sees that the guard's getting beat a little bit here. So now he's got to adjust. So he adjusts, he bends it back, gets his eyes on that next level threat right here, goes and scores. Okay. Again, talking about pre-snap, his footwork, he's keeping his shoulders square. He sees it, and he's able to make a move. We're letting them do what their instincts tell them. Okay, I'll show one more. This is the very first play against South Grand Prairie. We've struggled running the football on these guys in the past, so we come out, we run our inside zone. A little motion. Again, it's a split zone. He sees nose getting washed down. He sees nose getting washed down, so his mind tells him cut back. But then he gets his eyes on the next level defender, sees these guys up in the hole. He's patient, makes the right cut. Ends up going for about 56 and gets caught. Again, that's just matching his eyes. His footwork's good, shoulders square, thinks back, bending it back at first, sees his next level threat, follows where the block's supposed to go. Makes a heck of a play. Again, it doesn't always look like that, y'all. I'm going to pick the best clips, but, those were two clips that I thought would really emphasize, how we do stuff. And then again, I'll put my contact information up here. I don't want to keep y'all too long. But again, y'all can follow me on Twitter, Coach Kelley CHHS, or y'all could email me, coachkelly2010@gmail.com if you want the presentation. If you just want to talk ball or ask questions, I got on a Zoom meeting with two coaches on Saturday night. We just talked running back play and run game. So y'all just let me know, and feel free to reach out any way you can. I appreciate y'all in this opportunity through AFCA and Mario Price.
Coach, we appreciate you, man. Fellas, if you got questions, go ahead. You can direct message me using that chat function. We did have a couple questions pop up throughout the course of this presentation, so I'll go ahead and let them rip. First question is, how do you handle discipline amongst your position group?
There are thousands of different ways, but, I'm always – it depends. There are certain issues that you need to react to more. Obviously, if they're acting a fool in class, I'm going to take care of it right then and there. I'm probably going to either roll them or run them, especially if they're acting a fool in class. But, if it's something like, shoot, if I just got to if it's better addressed with a heart-to-heart talk, I'm going to handle it there. But if it's something where they're not representing the program or themselves well, then I'm going to have the talk with them. And then they're going to end up running or rolling or whatever I feel is appropriate for whatever their actions were that made me react.
Right. Good stuff. This is a question. When I coach running backs too, man, I actually still get this question quite a bit. What is your pregame routine with your running backs?
So when we go into our pregame routine, I assume it's talking about just the warm up.
Yeah, just the warm up.
Okay, because I was about to say we meet and stuff and do all that stuff. Our routine, we're going to go through our team stretch, obviously. And really all I focus on during our individual in the pregame is exchanging with the quarterback. I'm not too big about, fitting them up, getting them physical. Trust me, the kids are ready. They don't get up for anything else like they do a game. They're going to be ready. They're going to be physical. They're going to come out and do that. But the main thing I want to focus on is the exchange with the quarterback and the ball security aspect. Because, again, if the exchanges are clean, then our pockets are going to be pretty clean in terms of handling the football. And then we're going to be able to take care of the football in the game because now it's fresh on their minds. That's the big thing that I do. I don't I don't try and kill them at all, but, just go through exchanges, go through what we're about to run that game.
Absolutely. It's a lot of different philosophies in regards to that. And I think ball security always ends up at the forefront for most coaches. So that's great. This is an interesting question here. Running back position is one with many body types and running styles. How do you allow for your players to be who they are? Example, if your 5'8", 155-pound back is in the open field, one-on-one with the safety, versus your 6 foot, 205 back is in the same position, one-on-one with the safety. Do you have different expectations for them? One make a miss, one lower his shoulder.
That's actually a really good question because, I'm going to tell both of them I expect you to find a way with your style to make that one guy miss, because I'm always preaching that one guy will not tackle a Cedar Hill running back. But then again, I'm going to talk to him individually, and, we'll watch film and I'll say, hey, man, what could you have done here? If you're a power guy, then, you got to have a stiff arm ready because they're probably going for your legs. If you're a shiftier guy, then you're able to actually make a miss. You just got to be able to find a way to make that one guy miss. So I'm not going to tell the big guy that, hey, you got to pressure step here. You got to do all this. You got to make a miss where he doesn't even lay a hand on you. I'm going to tell him you use your stiff arm, you use some of your power moves, try and make sure that if you are lowering your shoulder, maybe you can balance and stay up. But we don't want to get tackled by that one guy. We're going to make a big issue if you get tackled by one guy. You have to, whatever tools you have, utilize those tools and make that guy miss, or make sure you don't get tackled by that one guy.
Absolutely. Next question is, how involved are you in the special teams segment of Cedar Hill football? And also, how involved are your running backs and your expectations of your running backs to be involved?
Oh, okay. Yeah. So that's a big thing. And, our special teams coordinator and our head coach do a great job emphasizing the importance of special teams. And, if you're involved in special teams, we have certain times set amongst practice that we're going to go work that. If you're not doing that, then you're obviously over with the O-line or doing something with there. But they know when it comes to special teams that, running backs and linebackers are typically the guys that you want to see on your special teams the most, because they're typically the most freakish athletes. They're big, strong, fast. So they know that you're going to have the expectation that you're going to play on special teams. Now, obviously, if you don't get it done, then you get fired, whatever. But they know that special teams is a huge role in our program, and we try and really emphasize on how important it is and that everybody's got to have a piece in it. And the running backs know whether I'm returning, blocking, even long snapping, special teams means something. So you better come on with it if you're chosen to do it.
That's awesome, Coach. That's all the questions I got here for now. Coach shared his information, so please reach out to him. Coach Kelley, thanks again. Best of luck to Cedar Hill football this upcoming season. Look forward to keeping up with you guys. As a matter of fact, we'll have Coach DJ Mann from Cedar Hill on here the day after tomorrow, so on Wednesday. So definitely look forward to having more guys on the staff. And actually just got a tweet in the middle of this video clinic here that Jay Wilson, who did our first virtual clinic, actually joining you guys as well. So really exciting to have, not on purpose, to have 3 guys from Cedar Hill to pop on. So I appreciate you guys. Anybody listening, if you're interested in hopping on, Coach Mario Price on my Twitter name, just hit me up and send me a DM, and we can chop it up and maybe put you guys on. Until next time, Coach, we appreciate you.
Thank you, Coach Price. I appreciate y'all for chiming in.